Anywho.
Sade has a new song out. We can start there.
Yes, Sade has a new song.
Um,
that is in honor of her son.
Right. Is it on her Instagram? It is. Okay, so according to her Instagram, it says the song is called Young Lion by Sade Adu. And it's from the Tranza album. It says, from the Tranza album's Liberation chapter, featuring Isaac Theo Adu. And, oh, it's just information on where to watch the full video. It's got producers and mixers and engineers here. That's really interesting. I never seen that on an Instagram post. Anyway, the song's called Young Lion, and we saw the video just now, moments ago.
Oh, did you have more details on that, or?
That's what I was saying. It's all.
You don't want to.
What is the Tranza album?
Hit the Googs.
Sure.
Hit the Googs.
You be thinking that shit is good.
No, it's not. That's why
Okay.
I laugh because you're trying to be polite and not say anything. When really you want to say stupid.
Yep. Okay, this is from Vogue. Vogue says Tranza, a new concept album featuring Sade. Okay, a lot of people. I'm not naming all of these artists. It says it's a timely celebration of trans life. It says when Red Hot name, producer Dust Reed, and artist and activist Massima Bell began putting together the ambitious concept album Tranza in 2021, they couldn't have imagined that its release several years later in November 2024 would coincide with the re-election of that guy. And not unrelatedly,
when you said it, I was like, huh?
That's what it says. I did not. It says it right there. What's that say?
Unrelatedly.
And not unrelatedly, one of the bigger spikes in anti-trans policy and rhetoric in recent memory, now to listen to the project, which features more than 100 artists, I'm not naming these names, feels like a small yet potent act of rebellion, holding up the creative genius that trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming musicians have been offering to the world for generations. All right, so they did an interview.
I was going to say, is there anything about Sade specifically being involved with the project? I know we talked about it a while back. And as far as I know, her son identifies as trans, if I'm not mistaken. And that was the reason why she wanted to be involved in it or got involved in it.
I got right here one of the questions. Perfect. There are so many incredible collaborations on this album, but I have to ask, what was it like working with Sade on one of her first releases in years? It was such an incredible experience to receive that music. I think it was really special in the way that it happened too, because it came about as a result of a lot of people holding out their hands in trust and passing along a message, which was originally from this letter that I wrote specifically to Sade, expressing how meaningful I felt it would be for her as the singular musician that she is, and as the parent of a trans child, to sing in whatever way she wanted to express her support publicly for her child. We delivered the letter through, all right, who cares? Ooh, they gave it to a longtime collaborator of Sade and member of her band who's contributed to Red Hot projects over the years, and she was down to just deliver this letter to her. She was really touched by the letter, and literally in writing it, I was like, if you want to just like say a few words, it's totally whatever you'd like to do. She wanted to contribute this song, Young Lion, that stemmed from a letter that she wrote to her son, Isaac, on his 21st birthday. When I first heard the song, I was immediately in tears, and it was such an emotional experience because it is such a powerful message of love and acceptance to her son. It also begins with an apology, which I think is something so powerful and something that a lot of parents have trouble with, particularly the parents of trans kids who should know that it's okay to say, hey, I'm sorry, I should have known, and acknowledge this. And to do the work to heal, it felt like such a huge gift from her, and she'd been really giving throughout the whole process. Done with that question. I'm not reading more.
No, I don't think you should. All right. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, we acknowledge that part of it. But so we watched the video.
Yeah.
The video is very nostalgic in the way that it's storied. There's a lot of like home videos, and
It's all home video except like one small piece.
yeah. I thought it was cool. It's like it was an interesting retrospective of, I guess, her son's childhood. And I think it's really I always think it's cool when, you know, people who are famous use their celebrity for good. And this feels like that. She doesn't have to. Yeah, it's her child, and so she's motivated by that, but she really doesn't. She could just continue to go about her life and, you know, not be involved with things like this. So I think it's I think it's pretty cool that she aligned herself with this sort of project. It's a good reason to make some music, I think, for someone who hasn't really been releasing music in a while. So I thought it was cool. I thought the song itself was beautiful.
Agreed.
I mean,
but I expect no less.
It's really hard to like say anything bad about Sade because it's Sade, and she don't really miss like that. Like that's not a common thing. And maybe it's a good thing she doesn't release music that often, because maybe then we'd have more to say about that. But I feel like it's always very thoughtful, always very intentional, and always very good. She sounded beautiful. She looked beautiful in the video. And yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about it. I thought it was, I think it's a beautiful concept. And I think it's a beautiful song.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool that Sade and Isaac allowed us to see so much. This is home video from years and years ago, obviously.
And it's deeply personal.
Right, and that's where I was going next. It's really interesting to see something so personal from Sade because we usually don't get that. Mm-hmm. This is kind of the opposite of what we normally get from Sade. So I thought that was really cool. We see her multiple times with baby Isaac, mm-hmm. and we get to see them going through different phases of Isaac's life. One thing that caught me a little off guard is the audio. Mm-hmm. They let the home audio play over the song. I didn't expect that. I'm not complaining. It just caught me off guard. I don't think it's good or bad necessarily. Just usually when you see those kind of music videos, they mute it. And so it's interesting to me that they allowed us to hear Isaac's laugh and giggles and stuff like that throughout the video. Yeah,
and I think I think maybe it was important because of some of the things Isaac was saying in those videos. So mm-hmm. there is one part where he says, "I'm the brother." So I'm gonna assume that maybe they, you know, wanted to show us his progression and, you know, kind of, I guess, how his life played out, if you will. That's what I took away from it. I noticed that you got to be paying attention to catch it, mm-hmm. but when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. It makes sense to me why they would play the audio. Mm-hmm.
I mean, those key ones I understand, but even like the giggles and the laughs later on, I thought that was interesting that was kept in.
Maybe because it humanizes him too.
I mean, who knows? I don't know the reason. I'm not complaining. It just is interesting to me that they purposely kept it in.
Yeah.
Because that's the opposite of what you see in a lot of these videos. Even like there's a really famous Eminem song where it's all home videos too, pretty much, and it's muted except for like one part where they pause the music. So I thought that was really interesting.
I wouldn't know that.
You can't help yourself. Gotta bust shots. Could have just said nothing. Could have just let me finish my sentence. Anyway. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. Yeah, beautiful song. Always great to hear Sade. She still sounds great. And I like this better than the last song we got from her, from A Wrinkle in Time. I think this one's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I dig it. Yep.